Hello, Cat here, and welcome to another video. Today I thought I'd finish the redesign of an old OC I've had for about 5 years now. His initial redesign and color picking has already been done for months now, so I'm basically just going to be setting up his official reference sheet, since I feel like this is a more permanent design. For now at least, anyway. Kaiser has gone through 3 other redesigns over the years, and throughout, I haven't really strayed too far from my initial concept of him. This is the same way with his backstory and personality, which I'll cover later. As you can see, he is very dark with a friendly face and rather ugly colored outfit. I've improved his colors and markings, which you'll see later, and still kept his outfit kind of ugly. Sorry, I don't know how else to describe this particular set of colors. He lives on a farm, so he kind of needs clothes that he isn't afraid of getting dirty, which I think his OG outfit really portrayed. Just slight adjustments, as you can see. Biggest change to his overall appearance is his legs, probably. As shown in his earlier iterations, he has more human-esque legs, which I tend to give to a lot of my furry OCs. However, after drawing Kaiser in my webcomic style, my friend said he liked the more animalistic legs, so I figured I'd go with that, honestly. And I kind of like it. I've been giving other powerful creatures more animalistic legs as is, so this would be no different. And it does tie into the fact that dragons are, in a way, not normal in the world. Also, I don't gotta design shoes, so that's a bonus. Anyway, before I get into the nitty-gritty of his backstory, or what I feel comfortable sharing thus far, I want to give some backstory to the why. Gotta fill up the time somehow, right? I've mentioned this before in another video that my online friend and I have a roleplay that is ongoing. We treat it as a separate universe to our individual stories, since we both have story ideas where our different characters are the stars of the show, as opposed to the roleplay, which we try to keep it relatively equal. It's fun and certainly a good way to practice our writing with no stress, since our way is more like co-writing rather than scripting like I've seen before, or even how we used to 5+ years ago. And yes, we've had the same story going strong for 5+ years. Kaiser was created kind of on the fly when our characters were on the run from his big bad of the time, OC. I had an idea of my villain OC being close friends with Kaiser, and because of Kaiser being very friendly and helpful, my OC, his kids, and my friend's OC head to Kaiser's home to hide out for as long as possible. The initial introduction, in my opinion, was perfect. Kaiser was, and still to this day is supposed to appear very intimidating, almost evil, which you'll see in his markings. He's supposed to look somewhat like a walking skeleton, even though he's big and beefy. His dark scales kind of disappear in shadow, allowing the white to stand out and give the illusion of bone. All this while he himself is very, very sweet. And he literally panics if he so much as bumps into someone. Kaiser has a life/power draining ability that is so overly powerful that he struggles to keep it under control. Hence why his home is in a desolate wasteland. Kaiser's past and home, just like his initial concept, have not changed. However, I have been adding on to everything. He accidentally killed someone with his draining ability and ended up exiled. This is one such thing I've added to and fiddled with. Kaiser comes from a very prestigious family, and his father is like the head of the council that rules over all the dragons, so he's called like a chancellor. And his father used his position as chancellor to remove Kaiser from prison. But he doesn't want to ruin his reputation to the public, so it's done in secret. We're only about 2 guards, and basically all the prisoners. But who listens to prisoners, am I right? He tells Kaiser to leave and never return, thus the exile, even if it's like for a different reason than what I probably thought of originally. Kaiser self-isolates in this wasteland because of his guilt and I've actually a whole emotional story planned out for this, but let's just say he had a battle of self-hatred before eventually building himself a farmhouse, figuring out how to propagate crops and such on this dead land. Using magic, of course. Can't really go into the details, because I want to write the story. To this day, he finds his peace in gardening and cooking. And since his friend doesn't exactly visit him a whole lot, so he kind of has to find stuff that makes him happy. Now, Kaiser, he does go out of his way to make sure normal, anima, or mythics don't cross the wasteland and potentially find him. Speaking of, that was his introduction, actually. Signs saying beware and calling Kaiser a dragon of death, broken and slashed. He even attacked the vehicle my friend's OC were in to hammer home the danger. There was no intention to attack them, but they didn't know that. The conflict immediately stops, though, when it is shown Kaiser and my villain OC are friends and that Kaiser is the one they were looking for. Love it. Never did an interesting intro to other characters like that again, but I really should, honestly. The whole shtick is he looks like he could kill you. He can kill you, but he won't. Kaiser is a pacifist, though. He will fight if he needs to. After all, he has military training, magic training, and so much more, since dragons are like the griffins I've, air quote, designed, require their leaders to fight for the kingdom, lest the civilians get upset. Basically, Kaiser was raised to be the next chancellor, not his younger brother who hates him. He is a force not to be reckoned with. But his force just wants to be friends, so you really don't got to worry about your safety around him. He has a very, very long fuse, and honestly, the world should be grateful because Kaiser is very close to, the power levels of gods and deities. If that's, anything for you to realize it, how strong he is. I plan to use him for more than just a supporting character, but that is kind of a long ways away, so for now, he's just one of my fave characters amongst my cast of OCs. I love him. And now, aside from working on an alternate timeline where he's evil instead of good, honestly, he's very scary on that timeline, I really don't have anything else to say about him. It basically just said everything, even if it was rambly and maybe kind of out of order. But anyway, thank you to anyone that has stuck around for this long, and sorry if I was rambly. I just want to share my OCs and get better at talking in YouTube videos. So I guess I hope to see y'all next time. Bye bye!